All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. The she me down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is J.H. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling irie today? Yes, indeed. Let us talk. Somebody mentioned that there were a couple more items in my video description that were not working. I went through, I took them off. The two that they mentioned. If for some reason you go into the video description and you see something in there that's not clicking or not working, let me know. But you guys do know that not all of them are click links. Some of them you just have to type it in yourself. It just gives you the information in order for you to go and check. So if it says such and such, then maybe you just got to Google it just for your information. But if you do see something, just bring it to my attention. I go and adjust it for you. All right. Let's talk about a serious topic. I know I mentioned it before, but I feel like one of you guys left a comment and I am going to address it again. And it is about working off the clock. Working off the clock, how it affects everybody, because it affects everybody. It affects mail handlers, it affects clerks, it affects truck drivers. I had mentioned before, I was one of those that was part of that working off the clock. Prior to clocking in, I'd be in early, getting my stuff situated. Well, let's talk on the facts behind why it's negative. And stick around to the end, because the last one is actually the one that has the major effect on everyone in the country and the overall operation. All right. Number one, working off the clock has several negative impacts on the USPS and its employees. Number one is violation of labor laws. It is illegal for employers not to pay employees for all the work they perform. When workers engage in job-related activities without being compensated, it can lead to wage and hour lawsuits, potentially resulting in back pay for lost wages. Meaning, sometimes it's like, hey, just run over there and grab that LLV before you clock in, blah, blah, blah. Some people do it. Don't make fun of anybody in the comments if they said they've done it. Please. Let's be realistic. We all come on here not to be attacked. I have done things like this. I go out there and try and find my truck, hook up my trailer before I get everything situated, then I go clock in. I've done it. There's a lot of people that do it. The domino effect behind it is bad though. All right. Misuse of time. USPS employees are required to use their on-the-clock time in an honest effort to perform their official work duties. Working off the clock undermines this principle and can affect the Postal Service's mission and operation. All right. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. It just becomes a domino effect that trickles down. Unfair labor practices. There have been instances where USPS managers were caught changing mail carriers' time cards to show fewer hours than worked, leading to unpaid wages. Recently, one of the new carriers that went through my course was going at it with a supervisor because she told the OJI, I guess y'all call them, on the job instructor, to bring the person back in 6 hours. And the route was 7 hours. Some silliness, follow me. And so the girl ended up coming back in, I guess it was under 8 hours, but she told her she wasn't going to pay her, or it was like 9 hours, something like that, with the lunch and something else. And she told her she wasn't going to pay her for the whole time. And then everybody like jumped on the supervisor like, nah, you got to pay her. She was like, well, why don't you just put it in on your 1260 that you had a longer lunch? She was just covering her ass because when they go into a minute or two of overtime, then they got to explain it on one of them telecoms, why this and why that. That doesn't justify somebody telling you that they're not going to pay you for the hours you work. I heard about it, and I know about it. I know exactly where it is. They don't want me to shout that out because nobody asked me for it. But I know about everything that be going on here. It's unacceptable, but that's what it ends up happening. It says, this not only harms the affected employees financially, but it also damages trust within the organization. Again, there goes that word trust. A lot of people don't trust the organization. If you, as the regular worker, do not trust your own managers, and we know that there's a bunch of things going on, how do you feel like the public is looking at us? They don't trust us. That's just what it is. Employee morale and burnout. Uncompensated work can lead to employee dissatisfaction, decreased morale, and burnout. I've read that you people said, who the hell are you people? Sorry. I've heard my people say that they are burned out. And they just tired, and that's why a lot of people quit. It can affect overall productivity and service quality. You can't have somebody that's worked 7.5 to 8 hours in the hot, burning sun of 112 degrees, come back in and tell them they got to go back out for 2-3 hours and hurry up because they're burned out at that point. Their body is not working the same way it was when they got in there at 8 o'clock. And these supervisors and these managers know that. They used to be carriers themselves, but that it's silly. Overall productivity and service quality, it sets a precedent. So if working off the clock becomes a norm, it can increase pressure on other workers to do the same to keep up, leading to a widespread culture of unpaid labor. But let you go over 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, they ready to throw you under the bus. 8-hour day, 8-hour day, 8-hour day. Sorry, y'all. 8-hour day. Let you go over that 8 hours and they lose their damn mind. They want to fuss, bring you into the office, etc. But here is the last one, which is the most important, that affects every single postal worker out there. Operational inefficiencies. When employees work off the clock, it can skew the actual labor costs and operational data, leading to misinformed decisions and strategies that may not reflect the true needs of the USPS. Let me break that down. When you work off the clock and everybody does the work, and they say, hey man, for the last 6 months, everybody's been getting the work done in this amount of time. And then all of a sudden, new people come in, they can't keep up. Or somebody gets hurt and 2 people call out and they can't keep up. Then the times change and people can't keep up to the actual labor costs. Now it created a domino effect of negativity. Operational data. People collect the data from your station, from your section in the mail handlers, from your section as the clerks. On Monday, you guys need 5 clerks at the window. On Tuesday and Wednesday, you only need 3. etc. But if they see on Mondays that the work seems lighter because somebody came in early to help out, they may eliminate a tour. That's what happens. The same thing goes on with your counting of the time when you do your bids for carriers and they time you on everything. All of this has something to do with it. It leads to misinformed decisions and strategies when somebody's sitting up top behind the desk and say, well, if they've been doing it this way, then we have to keep it going that way. That's where they come up with their strategies. They sit there, look at a piece of paper. Somebody in DC is looking at a piece of paper from somebody coming, no, not a piece of paper, but the data's coming into a computer from somebody in New Mexico, somebody in Texas, somebody in Oregon. And they're just looking at data. And now they have a decision to make. Well, the data says this. Well, we're gonna make a decision to do that. Whose fault is that? It's a domino effect from people like me that punched in early to people like you that punched in early. And it's not the true needs. Somebody come in there and fly around and just rush through things and work a half hour off the clock. What happens when that person retires or that person's not there that day? All of you that at work says, well, when such and such is here, they can complete the job. Why can't you? You've heard it. That's because of the data that they're collecting. Now, I'm not saying half of us ain't lazy, because some of us are. But again, working off the clock has several negative impacts on the whole operation. And what's going on today, where people are getting tours cut, they're consolidating bids, they're consolidating that, they're consolidating this. There is so much data that they're compiling that we feed them. That's causing this domino effect that we feed them. We feed them that through our scanning. We feed them that through how much productivity we have when we punch in and when we punch out, and they run those numbers on those machines inside the plants. How quickly we get back and forth as truck drivers get back and forth to stations. All this data they collect, and then they formulate and make these decisions. Long story short, Postal family, don't work off the clock, and don't let anybody force you to work off the clock either. Just like that nasty manager over there and wherever she was at. That's the type of lady to tell you to work off the clock, and then if you don't, she gonna do this and that to you, whatever. Anyway, she rubbed me the wrong way. Sheesh. This is JH. Y'all have yourself a good rest of your day.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.